Everyone, welcome to today's podcast. We're talking about a calendar of excuses. You have got to watch out for this because it's so easy to fall into the next thing you're going to wait after to start your plan. And as we approach Mother's Day, it becomes another perfect example of this that, well, I got Mother's Day coming up, so I'm going to wait. I got Easter coming up, I'm going to wait. Oh, 4th of July is coming up, I'm going to wait. Memorial Day, I'll wait. Labor Day, I'll start right after that. Oh, here comes Halloween. And it just never ends. There's always something on the other side that we can wait for. And the real way that you overcome this is you've got to shift the way that you think about weight loss from an all or nothing mindset to an all or something mindset. Not that you're going to wait till after Mother's Day or the next holiday so that you can be perfect. Instead, start today, right now, and be able to absorb the extra eating you do on the holiday. That's the secret to mastering your weight, because there's never a long enough period of time where there's no holidays or things that are coming up. So you've got to instead learn how to absorb those in a way that, yes, you may be outlier that day for your eating, but then you're able to get back on track quickly. Because if you're waiting for the perfect time, I got news for you. It just never occurs. It never happens. Every other week, there's something coming up. So again, the alternative is to start looking at this as a forever plan where you're flexible. Sometimes you're perfect with your eating, doing everything right. And sometimes you're just barely in the game, but you're still in the game. You're still doing something. And when you adopt that mindset, it allows you to be able to start now instead of waiting for this perfect Monday in the future where you jump into your plan being absolutely perfect with it. That day never comes. So instead, you're better off starting today, getting better today, better for the next week, maybe eating too much on Mother's Day, and then get back on track again. And maybe your weight won't shift as quickly as if you were perfect, but it's going to shift a whole lot more than if you don't start at all. So I hope this helps you out. If anyone has any question, feel free to ask them. A little bit later than normal today here. But what do they say? Better late than never, right? What's up, Trino? A long time I've seen you. So yeah, it's kind of fun being on here at a different time, because I'll probably run into some different people. That was always kind of like the give and take with setting up the calls. Typically at 12 noon Eastern is usually when they're happening in that ballpark. So it's kind of nice, shift them up sometimes, run with some other people. So nice to see you, treat on them. Yeah, here today for you. The perfect time. Good. Yeah, the perfect time's a perfect lie. For sure, right? That's a good one. I like that. It's so true. And so once we get past that, it's very freeing, I think, to realize that there just is no perfect time. And it's so freeing to realize there is no perfect time, because then your brain goes on the next best thing, which again is the all or nothing mindset, the all or something mindset, where you're always at least somewhat in the game. It's not these wild swings of doing everything perfect for a couple days or weeks. Thank you, Diana. And then these, months or years that you don't do anything at all. You got to get yourself out of that mindset, because what really changes your weight is starting to think statistically. See, what you've been trained to do by the diets is to think of things as streaks, as like endurance tests, where you're counting the days, how many days you've racked up together. But the real thing that makes a change in your weight long-term is when you statistically reduce your calorie consumption by 10, 20, 30% over a long period of time. That's the secret to mastering your weight. It's not this bullshit idea that you're going to be perfect with your eating until you reach your goal weight. But then what? Even if you're able to do that, and so to me, it's a dominant mindset. It's a way better mindset to be thinking this way, and it's going to get you much better results. What's up, Danielle? How's it going? Wow, I caught you on a live. Love hearing you on the daily. Yeah, it's great to be here. I was just saying that it's cool. I started late today, so yeah, we'll probably see some other people. I'll have to do some extra ones. I got some things are it's exciting times for me. Business wise, work wise, things are, what would I say? I don't know. Settling down, maybe. I don't know what the word would be, but a lot of cool stuff coming for clients and for people that are just fans of the podcast. There's a lot of cool stuff coming that I've been working on. So keep an eye out for that. But it's nice doing this at a different time, run into some people I haven't seen in a little bit. And what's up, Kelly? Last year, I started my New Year's resolution in November. Yeah, but Kelly, that's very impressive of you. That speaks. That's another strategy I like to use as well, is that I like the new month's resolution. Every month that passes, you can set another resolution. I think that's a real great thing to do, because what happens, I like resolutions. The problem isn't the resolution. The problem is setting a resolution once a year. That's a silly part. But if you set the resolution more consistently, what's going to happen is you're going to keep committing to it at higher and higher levels. Each time you commit to the resolution again, you become more focused. You have better strategies because you've tried some things from the previous month. You take those and bring them in and build on them, and it becomes a whole different mindset. So yeah, I love the resolutions. That's a good job. So who gives a shit whether you start a resolution on January or November? You did it, Kelly. So again, good job getting in the game. What's up, Erica? You can't get rid of me no matter how late you start the lives. I love seeing everyone else here too. So I'm glad about that. I felt bad today. I had some things work-wise. I've had some things I've had to kind of focus on over the last week, but it's actually freeing up a lot of mental energy. So like I said, I'm really, really excited for a bunch of reasons. The program's just even better. There's a Thrive. Oh, I don't get into it now, but it's a lot of cool stuff that I'll let you guys know about. Sandra says, lived in an environment where it was important to eat everything on the plate, and now I have a problem stopping when I'm full. How can I change that? Yeah, so that's common, right? A lot of us grew up that way. The Clean Your Plate Club was a huge thing in my family. And so I find that that's a behavior that's continued, So how do you change behaviors? And I want to reframe this slightly differently than how you typically think about it, because like, say you clean the plate. That's a thing you do when you have trouble leaving food on the plate. That's one specific behavior that we want to change, but I want to use this as an example of how to approach changing behavior in a different way than you've done. Because what you typically do is just say, oh, I always finish all the food on my plate. I got to stop doing that. But the problem is, if you look at this from a deeper angle, what's going on is subconsciously you have a behavior pattern backed up by thought patterns and feelings that make it feel like when I clean the plate, it feels good. When I don't clean the plate, feel bad. And that behavior is running on autopilot subconsciously. You're subconsciously driven to kind of finish all the food on your plate. And if you don't do that, you feel bad. And so it encourages you to finish all the food on your plate. So how you typically try and change that is you try to consciously fight against those associations. It feels good to finish my food. It feels bad to not finish it. You've got those running underneath the surface, and you're consciously trying to force yourself not to be influenced by those associations you have. Okay. And so you go on a diet and you try and, okay, I want to lose weight. I'm going to push the food away. And it feels bad the whole time you're doing it. It's a lack of pleasure of finishing it. And it's a feeling of pain that you're wasting food. And so you force yourself to do it, but it feels bad. And so you can only do this for so long as those associations take hold like that. So with Program Yourself Thin, what we're looking to do is to reprogram your subconscious mind so that it feels good to leave the extra food on your plate and it feels bad to finish all of it. That's what we're looking to do. Now, it takes a little bit of effort and work for sure, but it's a completely different focus than what you've been doing, because you're consciously just trying to fight against yourself. And what we're looking to do is here to recognize the problem behaviors and then install new, healthier behaviors so that they run on autopilot. So you don't need to consciously remember to not eat the food, that you subconsciously just naturally, I'm done, I'm good. Okay. Now, that being said, I will tell you that the wasting food one can be a challenge. So the first thing I would look to do with that is I would aim at that behavior on the front end of it, where I would take less food. I would take less food because that's going to be an easier thing than it is to have food and just waste it. That's always going to be a little bit of a struggle. So I think you're going to be an easier time if you focus on the front end and train yourself to take less food. Start taking half portions, knowing that if you're still hungry at the end, you can have some more. That's probably where I would focus on that, but it's up to you. But regardless, either way, we want to focus on the subconscious associations and making the behavior automatic. I have a problem stop when I'm full. How can I change that? Yep. I just caught the live in the right moment. I'm always come late. Yeah, I know a lot of people, right? I know, because I used to do these later, right? So it's like, there's kind of like the crew that used to watch at a later time. I knew that too. I didn't want to do it, but I do a lot of my coaching sessions. Are in the afternoon. So that's one of the reasons why I do them at noon, which that was a hard habit to install. I'll be honest with you there. But we got it down pretty good now. Pretty good. Last week's not been too good. Last year, oh yeah, I saw that one. Let's see here. Whoops. Diana says, I've been dieting all my life, losing and gaining between 15 to 20 kilograms. I want to learn how to finally control my relationship with food and maintain the weight lost. It's so interesting, Diana, because like, again, that's what I help you do is I will help you live at your goal weight. But even the way you frame it, right? I want to control my relationship with food and I want to maintain the weight lost. You don't want to maintain the weight lost. You want to maintain the weight you want to live at. So this is a little semantical thing. And, our words imply how we're thinking about stuff. And when it comes to weight loss in itself as a goal is a very impoverished goal, meaning it's like with money. If your main goal was, I just want to get out of debt. 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 Okay. I'm not going to argue that getting out of debt's better than being in debt. No doubt. But wouldn't you rather have abundance, be rich, be wealthy, have all the money you need? You see what I mean? Like again, sometimes our situation, we get this impoverished way of looking at things. I just want to get out of debt. I just want to lose the weight. But when we say I just want to lose the weight, what we're really saying is I just want to get to my goal weight. And that's how all the diets are set up. This is how they trick you, is they're really just set up to I just want to get to my goal weight. Well, what are you going to do then? I'll figure it out. No, you won't. That's the secret. You need to start reframing this, not as I want to lose the weight, but I want to live at my goal weight. I want to live at my goal weight for the rest of my life on near autopilot. It's a completely different goal. And it's a very important one for all of you to absorb because you need to get away from the diet mindset. That diet mindset is programmed you for failure because you're constantly thinking about yourself as an overweight person and you just want to lose the weight. And what we want to do again is really to make this a process of personal development. We want to take your weight loss, wrap it in personal development, meaning it's not just that you want to weigh X amount of pounds even, it's that you want to be the best version of yourself possible. And that version of you weighs this much. Do you see the reframe there? It's not the primary thing. The weight should never be the primary thing. It's kind of like money, right? It's great to have a lot of money for sure, but we don't just want to be a rich person, right? We don't want to be like this obnoxious asshole rich person, right? And so when it comes to weight loss, we don't want to just lose the weight and be this miserable dieter. You see what I'm saying? We've got to give the goal more context. And this is the first step, in my opinion, from changing from a dieter mindset to a weight mastery mindset. When you start focusing on weight mastery, you empower yourself because A, you're focused on the real goal. And then B, you give yourself the time and the space to create the skills necessary to achieve that goal. And so right off the bat, hear what I'm saying for the goal for you, I think is a better one, is that you don't just want to lose weight. You want to get to your goal weight, and then you want to live the rest of your life at your goal weight on near autopilot. That's a much more specific goal. And it means a lot more to your subconscious mind. And so once we set that as a goal, we set ourselves up that that's a forever goal. I, for the rest of my life, want to live at my goal weight. So if it takes a little bit longer than I'd been expecting in that old diet mindset, that's fine. Because it's so worth it to me. Because when I am at that goal weight in the way that I want to be, when I'm that version of myself, watch out. That's the best version of me possible. That's who I want to be. And when you start thinking of it this way, it changes the whole process, because when you think about dieting, you're always starting and focusing and fixating on the you that is an overeater, that's a sugar addict, that's a food addict, that can't control your eating, that has bad habits, that's been struggling with weight, that's failed at every diet. You're steeping yourself constantly in your failures as a dieter. And when you start focusing on your weight mastery, you shift your focus from your failures to what your real goals and the things you want to achieve and live day in and day out are. So hope that makes sense. Mackenzie says, hey, Jim, my mom's new quick fix diet is Slenderize weight loss drops. Do you know about it? She says you have to eat 1,200 calories along with these drops. Scam alert in my eyes. I will tell you that the fastest way to always identify the diet scams is when it's a tea from the jungle. It's a berry from the mountains of Tibet. It's some hormone from pregnant women, HCG. But then it's also, you gotta cut down to 500 calories. You got to eat 1,200 calorie diet too. That, you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. If you could sprinkle dandelion greens on your head, and if you eat 1,200 to 500 calories a day, you're going to lose weight. So, you know what I mean? Like we always got to look at that piece. So I'm going to look up Splendorize because it sounds funny. I always like to I feel bad. I mean, I want people to master their weight, but I feel bad when they lose all their money in the process of it. Slender Eyes weight loss system. Yeah, homeopathic, right? There you go. Oh, macaroni. What are we talking here? For 30 days, what are we talking? $176. $176 for a month of that, huh? Well, there you go. So for those also, she's already talking about if she gains the weight back. Yep. It's so expensive too. Yeah, I can't handle it. Can't consider not a miracle though. Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, dieters are the most hypnotized people on the planet. At least some of them. Dieters are so hypnotized they don't even know what's going on because dieters are so crazy in the sense that they will do the same diet that doesn't work for them for decades. How many times you've been on some paleo-esque, keto-esque plan? At this point, I've seen people 20, 30 years arguing with me about how to lose weight. They're still struggling with their weight, but they are just absolutely convinced that keto, paleo, this is the way. You know, it hasn't worked in 30 years, but yeah, so I don't know. It's so common that people, especially dieters, are just they're so desperate, they're just easily tricked. You know, I get it. But that's why I get out every day, try and bring some sanity to the weight loss world. Carrie says it's being wasted in your body or wasted on your plate. Do the healthy thing. Yeah, true story. That's a good way to look at it, right? So trying to thought that way. Good, Diana. Our mind hears our words. I love that. Yeah, that's a great saying. I love that. Jody says alcohol redid my pleasure and rehearse new strategies for next time, but I bounce back. Alcohol, right? Yeah, Jody, it gets us. It got me. I will tell you, I was proud of myself. Saturday night, I went and I poured a glass of wine, and there was way more wine in the bottle than I thought. So I'm like, oh shit, because once it gets in the glass, the chances of you drinking it go way up, you know. But I actually only drank half of it, and I was proud of myself. But it'll get you, but no big deal. You know what? Jody's in the program, so she's practiced now in that sometimes, sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you get caught up. That's normal and natural. So the big thing Jody has that she didn't have and that most people don't have is she has a strategy to learn from her mistakes, which most people do not. And so again, one day of a mistake is not what's controlling your weight. It's what you do consistently. And most people, once they make a mistake with their weight, are off track for good. At least when I say for good, they're off track for months, usually. So again, Jody she bounced back, learned from it. And on top of that, we'll talk about it on Wednesday and you'll learn even more. So good job. Good job, Jody. What is the way? What is the way? I don't even know. What's the way? I want to be in the program. Yeah, why aren't you in the program, Diana? I've seen you on here before. Why aren't you in the program? I will tell you. This won't be more than a minute or two, but I get on these podcasts. This podcast is my gift to the universe. I do this for free to try and help as many people as I possibly can, for free, completely free. And to do that, I spend an hour to 2 hours, typically Monday through Friday, talking to you all, telling you everything. I don't hold anything back. However, I do also have a program, and that program again now is available without coaching, which again, I understand financial realities for people, but if you are any sort of secure situation, you should absolutely get the coaching. But that being said, the program itself by itself is $300. I just told you a stupid month of drops is $176. So, you ought to invest in yourself because there's a very magical process that happens when you actually listen. We live in America. Money talks, bullshit walks. When you invest in yourself, it shifts a gear in your brain. You know what I mean? When you don't invest in yourself, because you don't value it. I just don't know if it'll work. I don't know if I'll do the program. Well, that's another story. But if you're actually serious, you're probably gonna have to invest some. I've invested well over $100,000 at this point in personal development programs, business programs, certification programs. It's been the best investment I've ever made. Better than my college. And I got a bit out of college, but my personal investment, you pay money for what you value, so it is something. It's very true, but that I try. And again, you got to understand, my world, some people pay me $25,000 to work with me privately. So it's a funny world that people will pay what they value, so it is, I'd give it away for free. I have given my program away for free, but what happens is most people never go through it. They never even use it because they don't value it, unless they put some skin in the game. So that's the reality. So I picked $300 as kind of the minimum. I think, most people can afford that. But anyways. So yeah, Jim's away. Thank you, Jody. Totally, it's true. Yeah, but if you all want to see some more free stuff I give you as well, though, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the video I made for you, and then read the emails I send to you. Because not only do I do this, but I give you lots of stuff too, and I've got lots of cool stuff coming. That's what I'm so excited about. I've got a lot of kind of the foundational pieces of my business kind of lined up well, and that's going to free up some energy and time to really focus on more free stuff. Also my clients, I got some cool stuff for my clients, which I can't wait. One of them being the Thrive program, which is the Thrive program was a coaching only program, but there's going to be a Thrive version that doesn't include the coaching, which is going to be way more affordable for people to continue if they want to stay in my world. And we'll have a live call every Tuesday at 4. Will that start tomorrow? Yeah, maybe we'll start tomorrow. Maybe I got a real casual one, but anyways, enough of that. So yeah. Danielle says your program's top notch. Thank you. I'm still listening to the recordings weekly. That's great, Danielle. I'm glad. Yeah, it's a nice way to kind of feel, still part of the program. That's why I'm doing the Thrive piece as well. So you'll get info on that. But that's definitely something. I think it's a nice way to kind of keep a foot in our world here. So it'll be good to see anyone that wants to join that. What's your opinion on bariatric surgeries? Yikes. I think bariatric surgeries are so intense. I don't think people realize just how intense they are. They've been normalized a bit. Oops. They've been normalized a bit, but they're intense. And on top of that, a huge percentage of people that get bariatric surgeries end up putting the weight back on anyways. And I don't think there can be any clearer example of the mindset piece of weight loss than someone who gets bariatric surgery or stomach stapling or shrinking, lap bands, whatever, is that even then, when their stomach's made to be this big, they can still put the weight back on, because their head hasn't gotten right. So I'm not against medicine. I'm not against surgeries in certain situations, but I always hope it's a solution of last resort for people, and that's what I always hope. And I've worked with a number of people. A lot of times people have to lose weight before they can get the surgery. And, they'll get in my program to do that. I say, could you, if you start losing weight this way, can you just see? Why don't you just write it out? Because again, the problem with the bariatric surgery is that pretty much everyone loses weight immediately because it's such a drastic shift in how you have to eat. But then all sorts of things can happen. Bariatric surgery, also, you got to watch out for alcohol. If you be careful if you have any alcohol issues, because like when you start drinking, it hits you faster. A lot of times after you have the bariatric surgery, if you haven't learned how to deal with your emotions, there's just a lot. So listen, I'm about weight mastery. I don't think bariatric surgery is going to cause you to master your weight necessarily. So I'm more about really creating a holistic, comprehensive approach to mastering your weight, which in my world includes a mindset piece, lifestyle piece, and obviously an eating piece that works for you. So I would rather take that path. But, again, I don't, I also want to be a place of support because I know plenty of people feel just at their wit's end, and I get that because all you've ever had is a steady stream of diets your whole life. And you don't realize there's another way to approach all this. So anyways, Kat says, how to deal with emotions without binge eating? That's a great question. And so I think the first step when it comes to emotional eating showing up as binge eating is to start recognizing what emotions you're eating for. Is it anger? Is it depression? Is it stress? Is it anxiety? What's going on? And then you might find there's different triggers. Okay. And so when you have binge eating going on and it's emotionally based, you want to start understanding it more. Don't just, I think the big mistake a lot of dieters make when they have a situation like that is they try and just stop it. And they just try and stop with their willpower. But I think understanding that we always do things for a positive intention is a good place to start, because even when we're binge eating, it's serving a positive purpose. So I don't want to say I'm an emotional eater, I got to stop it. I want to say, what emotions are triggering my binge eating? Oh, it's when I get lonely. It's when I get stressed. It's when I get sad. Okay. It's when I get sad. So if it's when you get sad, that's going to require a different solution than if it's when you get angry. Do you see what I mean? Like again, we want to understand it. It's not a million emotions. There's certain emotions that are really triggering you. And the more you understand what those emotions are, you can strategize for how you want to deal with them when they come up in a way that doesn't involve eating. Because the eating's not resolving them anyways, it's just distracting you from them. And then once you're done eating, now you get this tsunami of shitty emotions because you had the original emotions that you had, and now you got all the frustration and guilt and shame and pissed off and all the stuff with the food. So it really does make things a lot worse. And so we want to really seek to understand what the emotions are and then go to work on finding strategic solutions for them. Now, the beauty is, now, first of all, though, I understand this takes a little more effort and you want me to just be like, oh, just do this. It's just not that easy. I wish it was. If it was, I would tell you too, but it's not. So we need to take a little bit of time and understand ourselves. That's why I say that really this is a process. Oh, thanks. This is a process of personal development. This is a process of becoming a better version of you. It's not you being the same person you are and just forcing yourself to act different. It's about growing and evolving into a better version of you who acts and lives and thinks differently and so looks different because of those differences. So I hope that makes sense. But it's a deeper, more holistic approach that leads me to give you a much more holistic, comprehensive answer and solution to your question. I hope that makes sense. Hey, what's up, Don? How's it going? Hey, what's up, Mario? I'm pretty late today. No, you're not that late. I actually started really late. Imagine I've been going for 3 hours. I've done 3-hour lives before. Yeah, Danielle says, can't wait to hear more about the Thrive program. Yeah, Danielle, I think you're going to love it. Like I said, there'll be live calls on Tuesday at 4:00. And they're not like the coaching calls. They're not like the coaching calls on Zoom in the original program, but it's like a webinar. You can message in the groups there, so it's a way to just kind of feel connected and connect with me. But it's more through chat than it is through Zoom, but it's still cool because every week we're going to have new lessons. Because I really have missed doing that. And it's good. That's one of those things to hold me to a standard because I read books. I'm always reading. And a lot of times I'm just kind of absorbing and not teaching. And I kind of miss that. So the Thrive program is really me teaching kind of cutting edge stuff, new things that I'm going through. Exo says, should I be counting calories? Here's the thing with counting calories. I wouldn't argue that technically that's probably the best way to start losing weight. If you're 100% motivated, going to do everything perfectly, counting calories is good to do. But if you're a regular human being who's living a normal human life, counting calories may be too much for you to take on. And so I start this by saying there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. Some people love tracking calories. They're just like little accountants in nature. You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of how they are. That's their intrinsic nature. So if you're that type of person who loves tracking calories and counting everything and are able to do it long-term, knock yourself out. If you try counting calories and after a couple of days, you just find it absolutely tedious and you don't want to keep doing it, then stop doing it. You absolutely do not need to count calories to lose weight. It might take you a little bit longer, but that's fine because then you can use more strategic strategies that are going to serve you a long time. So I am not against calorie counting. And I think it's good to do at least short term as a calibration tool. But I don't think for the average person that counting calories is a good strategy long term, is my opinion. Oh, what's up, Amy? How's it going? Don says calorie awareness is good enough. Agreed. I think I like that way you put that. Calorie awareness. I love that. Yeah, that's Don. That's what I personally. Now you have to understand when I started doing my own weight loss journey over 30 years ago, I look back and there was just certain things. I was partly lucky, partly well-trained with good information. But I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I got to lose the weight. And this instant voice comes in and says, okay, we're going to have to start working out a lot. And I remember for the first time being like, I don't want to work out. I don't like working out. I hate lifting weights and I hate going to the gym. So I'm not going to do it that way. And that was such a profound moment for me. I was right at the very beginning of my process. And I remember saying, okay, fine. Well, how are you going to do it then? I was like, you know what? Let me think about myself. I'm like, you know what I know about me? I'm fucking lazy. I'm a lazy person when it comes to food and cooking. And I don't want to cook and I like being lazy. So I'm like, well, I'll master my eating because by master my eating, I'm just eating less cooking, less buying food, less work to buy the food. It all seems great to me. So let's build it around that. And so again, I'm not saying that that's the strategy you have to pick. What I'm saying is honor yourself. What works for you, what doesn't work for you, and build around that. Don't think you have to do things you hate doing. I think that's a core level problem for a lot of people that want to lose weight, is they're constantly trying to force themselves to lose weight in a way that they hate. And so they're constantly fighting against themselves. And I think you're better off using that energy and figuring out ways that resonate with you, that work for your preferences, for your lifestyle, for you as a person. And I think once you find those, now you're set up for long-term success. And for some people, this is just such an outlandish, crazy idea. Like they've never thought this, because we're so conditioned that you just have to take the diet wholesale. Oh, I got no carbs. I got to go into ketosis. I got to go do that now. No, I can't eat any fat. Now I can't eat more than 1,200 calories. I got to count every point. And it's like, we just like become these dipshits. They're just like, oh, just tell me what to do. And I'll force myself to do it for the 100th time that it hasn't worked, but I'll try it again. And so we've got to kind of awaken and reconnect to our humanity and our creativity and our power, and start to build a plan that works for us and is built for us, customized for us. And I think, again, that leads you to a much different place, you know? Dana says, I counted calories religiously for 4 months and lost 10 kilograms, stopped and gained the whole and more. Yeah, that's what I mean. The tracking calories, like I would never argue. People that are really tracking every single calorie will say, oh, well, Jim, I did Kaiko and it's worked perfect, you know? And it's like, well, that's while you were doing it. But what I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about your fast weight loss. I care about long-term weight loss. And for you to lose weight, you have to give 100% of your energy and focus to losing weight in whatever capacity, not eating carbs, tracking calories, eating all this meal plan all this crazy shit. If your plan is really hard and takes all of your energy, it's not going to last. It's just not going to last. So you might lose weight while you're doing it, but what happens once you don't? And that fucking part always comes up. This is the part, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've had it. I can't take it. And you know this. You fucking know it. It's time to remember it, though, okay? You can't start a keto plan again if you've tried it 10 times without first remembering why you stopped the last 10 times. That's like, if I was the president, like, I would make it a law that before you started a diet, you had to reflect and say, have I done this diet approach before? Yes. Okay. The last 4 times I've stopped, why did I stop? Like, you've got to remember that. Okay. Because it's the same reasons that you stopped are the same reasons you're going to stop again. So sorry to sound so negative, but it's just like, dieters got to wake the fuck up. You just do. Okay. Enough. I'm in a bad mood. I'm not in a bad mood, but I get so triggered sometimes by a diet mentality. Not to say you are, Diana. You're not that way, but it's just in general, you know, the diet industry has done such a number on people's brains, and smart people are getting tricked by the diet industry. So that's what triggers me. I just want to make that clear. Yeah, it's been difficult to lose that weight again. Yeah. Is it possible to lose weight from fasting and then maintain the weight loss, or will it come back? Well, Amy, I mean, listen, you know, weight loss is just, here's the thing, right? Let's take a step back. You can't lose weight. You can't gain weight. Sit with that for a second. You can't gain weight and you can't lose weight. Do you understand that? Because this is really important. You can't gain weight and you can't lose weight. You can consume less calories. You can consume more calories, and your weight can go up or your weight can go down because of that. Do you understand that? So if you fast for a week, 2 weeks, a month, then you'll consume less calories and you'll lose weight. But what are you going to do when you stop fasting? Right? Because you can't fast forever. So when you stop fasting and you consume more calories, what do you think is going to happen to your weight? So it's not about the week, the month you lowered your calories a lot. It's about the rest of the other 11 months. What are you doing then? I hope that makes sense, because this is the foundation of the entire program your self-done approach. You don't even have, like, you're not even about living at your goal weight. You're about losing weight, and losing weight is a temporary thing. So I'll go on a fast for a month and lose weight. Yeah, great. Who gives a shit? Give me a call in a month. Let me know how it's going. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, is it possible to lose weight from fasting and then maintain the weight loss? How would you maintain it? If you go on a fast and reduce calories and then you end the fast and you increase calories, what do you think is going to happen to your weight? I'm not picking on you, Amy, because this is an important lesson to really internalize. This is really everything I'm talking about. You've been trained and conditioned to think about weight loss as a short-term temporary thing. So fasting seems like a great idea to lose weight. It is a great idea to lose weight for a little while. It's not a great strategy to lose weight long-term. And you're not, 99% of dieters aren't thinking about weight loss long-term at all. And so you keep doing these short-term things to lose weight for a little while. You're getting exactly what you would get with that strategy. So if you want a different result, you need a different strategy. So hope that makes help. Don says, I've been fasting for 9 months. It works for me. Nighttime eating was my problem. Well, that's intermittent fasting. Just making sure. There are different types of fasting. Amy says, but what if I stop fasting and eat in a calorie deficit to maintain the weight I've become? How are you going to do that, Amy? How about you skip the fast and just go straight to that piece then? I like what you're thinking in one way, but why don't you skip the fast, which is going to drain you? The fast is going to drain, because I know you're thinking, no, I don't. Okay, Amy, are you thinking, what kind of fast are you thinking about here when you say this? Danielle says, this is so true. Did intermittent fasting and had success. However, I didn't stick with it until you pointed it out. I never realized intermittent fasting, long fast will never be a part of my life. And it's profound to realize that. Now I'm saying this, I intermittent fast every night, 12 to 13 hours, if that will be allowed by the intermittent fasting committee to be considered intermittent fasting. Okay. So I believe in taking breaks from eating. I have a problem when it's wrapped up as a diet. And that's my problem with intermittent fasting, as it's typically taught. And long-term fast, I have less, appreciation for, because again, I want to do a long-term fast to lose a bunch of weight and then I'll live at maintenance. That's the lie dieters are always telling themselves. You're going to drastically cut calories till your weight starts going down, and then you're going to go to maintenance. That's what every dieter says. And 95% it's estimated of dieters never do that. Okay. So I plan to be a lifelong faster. It's not about weight. It's about the health benefits. Yeah. Again, if that's allowed to be considered fasting, I plan on having a 12, 13 hour eating free window for the rest of my life. I love it. I love it. I love it though. Do you hear that part? I literally love it. I love not eating at night. And when I first started doing it, I was like, holy shit, I feel really good. So again, that's just one more strategy of mine that I love doing because it works for me. That's why I'm not, but you don't want to hear me say, oh, you should intermittent fast. Intermittent fast or don't. I'd experiment with it and see how you feel about it. And I think I always talk that way because I'm looking for you to figure out what works for you in the most enjoyable way. And again, a lot of dieters are all about forcing themselves to do something. So anyways, Dana says, I'm now 40. It hasn't been easy to change that mentality. Yeah, sure. It's never easy. It's never easy to change the diet or mentality at all. Because, you've been conditioned with it. The whole culture is always reinforcing it. And you get very few alternatives to that mindset. Again, that's another reason why I'm out here every day for free. Is the biggest thing I'm looking to do is to give you a counterpoint to your diet mindset, because the whole weight loss industry is so 100% wrapped up in a diet mentality. I mean, like 100%. I don't use that lightly. The whole weight loss industry is built around diet mentality of fast weight loss. That's the main thing that counts. And I try and get on here to give you an alternate point of view that's about long-term weight loss. And I don't know, who's got the most long-term based plan? I don't find a lot of good solutions out there personally. But anyways, I try and give you this point. I think that's the big one, is to realize the different focus on short-term weight loss versus long-term weight mastery. And once you understand that difference, I think it helps you see the world differently. And I think it lets you see when it's a diet-based approach, you can see it from a mile away and you can avoid it, because what you've been doing is getting wrapped up in the diet approach constantly. And eventually what happens is you start to blame yourself because you can't follow the diets. And you say, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stick to a plan? And you start turning it all on you as if you're the problem. You're not the problem. The problem is you've never been shown how to master your weight. You've never been shown how to think this way, how to have a comprehensive, holistic solution to it. And because of that, you're always struggling. So again, another pitch, please go to my bio, get the hypnosis session I give you for free, but watch the video I made for you. That explains a whole lot about what I'm talking about here in a lot more detail. Diana says, I've been bombarded with info from the diet industry since a very young age. We all have. Literally all of us have. We've all seen millions of weight loss ads diet ads, and it's wreaked havoc with our brain. It is true. This is true. Carrie says 16.8. Yeah, I mean, 16 is fine. But 16.8 is really hard for a lot of people. And it's very hard to jump into tomorrow not eating 16 hours. It's very overwhelming. And again, that's the diet thing that when I say diet, that's one of the primary things that I do is I'm thinking about these intense plans you jump into perfectly on day one. I was thinking about that. I make a video on this, but think about, and I was joking, like I was asking this the other day on a live, but can you think of one single diet plan that doesn't start off at 100%? Right? What diet plan do you even know of that doesn't start day one, but you being 100% perfect with whatever plan you're following? If it's intermittent fasting, you're not eating for 16 hours. If it's keto, you're not eating any carbs. If it's you're counting, you're not going over 1,200 calories, right? And you're jumping right into it being perfect. And it's like, you don't do that with anything else. And I always use the example like playing the piano. If you never played the piano and you're like, I want to play really good and I want to get good fast, so I'm going to play 10 hours a day. It's like, well, maybe you want to work up to 10 hours a day over the next year. But it's like, if you start day one trying to do 10 hours, even if you got through the first day, the next day your fingers are cramped up and you hate the piano. And that's metaphorically what you're doing to yourself with the diets. And so you're overwhelming yourself before you even get a chance to get in the game. And that's what you experience. You're able to stick with whatever the diet is for a couple days, a couple weeks, and then you can't keep it up anymore. And so it was never really built for you to keep up. You didn't start it strategically to keep it up for long term. You did it so that you could dramatically lose weight fast. And you may lose some weight fast, but then you can't keep it up. And so that's what I'm talking against. And I think once you realize that, you can start to be more strategic and you can start to get good at the qualities you need to master your weight. It's not rocket science. You've just never broken it down. And the big three categories are your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating. And once you have those three things locked in, it's a different process. Adam says, I'm on day 3 of my water fast. How long should I keep going? Who gives a shit? I mean, who cares? Go for a week, go for a month. Who cares? You're going to start eating food. So again, unless you're doing this for some spiritual reasons or some other reasons that have nothing to do with weight loss, I think you're setting yourself up for failure. That's what I think. I think you're going to get all excited about losing weight because you're just drinking water. And then you're going to have to eat at some point, and then you're going to come crashing down and feel all disappointed they put the weight back on. And I know it doesn't make sense, but you tell me how you feel. Let me, because I don't know how long you should go. How long should you go water fasting? What's your goal? You know, what do you want to do? Lose 20 pounds? Great. Let me know how you are next month. Let me put the 20 pounds back on. And now you get obsessed with food. You can't control your eating. Sorry to be a dick, but someone's got to say it. You know what I mean? Like I can't keep quiet about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't know the point of a water fast. A water fast is like holding your breath. Who gives a shit? You know, I can hold my breath for 30 seconds. I can hold my breath for a minute. Who cares? You're all going to breathe again. So who gives a shit? It's just a tiny little blip in time. Unless you're planning on doing, 20-day water fast every month. Water fasting makes me feel great. It's not just about the weight loss. There are so many other factors. Yeah, fair enough. If there's other factors other than the weight, knock yourselves out. Again, I'm not speaking to that, but I'm speaking as water fasting for the average person is usually the average person I'm talking to. It's like they've gotten themselves so desperate that now they'll do anything to lose weight. And water fasting is the top of the list. That's like usually for most people, that's the most desperate point you get to. That's the final boss of desperation of a dieter is the water fast. I feel like, and right before that's keto. Will I find your hypnosis sessions on YouTube? I have some hypnosis sessions on YouTube. If you search Jim Katsoulis, I got a bunch of them on there. But the best weight loss one I have is the one you get through my bio. I would get that. It's free. Okay. It's called The New Thin Me. It's a weight loss kickstart session. And again, the hypnosis is great. I love hypnosis. I'm a hypnotist, but watch the video I made too, because it gives you more perspective as well. You can't just, y'all don't have the mindset to live as a thin, healthy person. You don't know how to think like a thin, healthy person. So you don't know what to do. You have some vague ass idea that I should stop eating carbs. I should cut my calories down, but you don't really know the nuts and bolts, the granular details of being a thin and healthy person. And until you do, it's probably always going to be a struggle. So go watch that. Amy says, I was thinking of hold on a second. Where'd that go? I was thinking of prolonged fasting, and I'll be honest, Jim, I just wanted to lose it faster. Yeah, no, the fastest weight loss you could do, I imagine, would probably be a water fast while you exercise as much as possible, maybe while taking laxatives. Um, I mean, shit, maybe if you could stop drinking water too. I don't know. Could we do just a dry fast maybe? Would that be even faster weight loss? It's got to be quicker. If we get like one of them wrestling suits they wear where they sweat a lot, they look all silvery. Get one of those, stop drinking water, stop eating food, start taking laxatives, and exercise a lot with that suit on. That's probably the fastest weight loss that you could achieve. So there's your plan. Time-based eating, is that better? I like time-based eating, but I think of it differently than how you probably think about it. I think we've got to structure our eating strategically so we get from the first meal to the next meal comfortably, next meal to the next meal comfortably. I'm a big fan of 3 meals. If you need more, put more in. But my main goal is to get from meal to meal to meal comfortably and have that be in our calorie and nutrient ranges where we get the results we want. Don says, remove timelines. It's the best way to live at your goal weight long term. Agreed. Wasabi said, did you change your times? I didn't, Wasabi. I just started late today because I had stuff I was doing today. So I just got on way later than I normally do. Amy says, I know, Don, but I have a significant weight to lose. It will take very long that way. Amy, it's going to take a long time anyways. It took a long time to put the weight on. It's going to take time to take it off. It's not about how long it takes to take it off. It's about how long you can live at your goal weight. And getting halfway to your goal weight's wonderful. And doing it in a way where you know you're going to live at that goal weight for the rest of your life is the most amazing gift you can get. The more you wrap yourself up in how fast you can do it, the longer you will struggle with your weight. Coffee Bean says, I have metabolic syndrome. What should my first step to recovery be? I think everyone's first step, most people have metabolic syndrome in some capacity or another. I think the solution for pretty much everyone is to start eating more whole natural foods. That's kind of the one prescription I can pretty much recommend to everyone. Start eating whole natural foods, fruits, vegetables, greens, beans. Get more of those into your diet. And those will help to resolve a lot of, I don't want to say resolve, but they will most likely, depending where you're at, how deep you're into it, that's going to help you a lot. So that's the big one, is transform your calories into being more whole natural foods, and especially fiber. Fiber is one of the big ones. Carrie says, going to be perfect. Yeah. Is it true that you need to eat 6 times a day, 3 meals, 3 snacks? My doctor always says this. That's because most doctors don't have any idea about weight loss. And I'm not a doctor, but I know way more about weight loss than doctors do. So doctors, they don't know everything. They know what they study. Okay. And most doctors that you're talking to are generalists and don't know anything about weight loss or nutrition. Just to be honest, doctors have way less nutrition training than you think they do. That's different in each state, so I can't say the numbers, but we're talking on a high, a lot of times it's 60 hours of nutrition training total. It's not a lot of nutrition that they study. So, I can't stand this shit too, because doctors are some of the most high profile hypnotists on our culture. When they say stuff, it carries more gravitas because they're doctors. We think they know what they're talking about, but they oftentimes have no clue what they're talking about with weight loss. That's not what they work with. So, it's not true that you need to eat 6 times a day. It may be true for you. Okay. But it may not be true. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sure it obviously works for some people and doesn't work for others. So you give it a shot, see how you feel about it. If it works for you, do it. If it doesn't work for you, do something else. But Jesus, this is the type of thing, 99% of the weight loss industry is some expert telling you what you have to do to lose weight. And you try it and it doesn't resonate for you. And so you say, I'm something wrong with me. I can't force myself to do this thing I don't like to do. That's where I think a lot of the problems start. So anyways, Danielle says, I also think we need to come up with the answer of our why. Yes. Our world is so sad that we need to lose weight to look better. It's more about diseases. I agree with that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Danielle, that was new. I mean, it's funny too. Because Danielle, right, on average, doctors are not God. Please get Jim's program. It's so worth it. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate you saying that. And it is funny. I do actually get a high percentage of nurses in the program. I think at one point there was like 80% of the people were nurses in there, but trust me, like again, I love doctors too, by the way. I'm not anti-doctor in any capacity. I'm just saying that what you think they know about weight loss and nutrition is not what they know. I promise you. I'm not saying there aren't some outlier doctors that are really interested in it. And that's one thing, but the vast majority don't have much more training in weight loss and nutrition than you do. So let it be known. Diana says, I can intermittent fast easier than cutting back. Well, then great. That's great. Again, it's not about what I say to you as being like, this is the golden plan you have to do. It's about you experimenting and figuring out which plan works for you. You know what I mean? Like, there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's not one plan that works for everyone. You have to figure out what works best for me. And so I love what you're saying, Dana, that I love when you said easier. That's what we're always looking for. We're looking to accumulate strategies that are easier for us to follow. And once you have enough of them, your way of mastering your weight and living at your goal weight is easy. What you're doing the opposite. As a dieter, you're always picking the hardest plans you can find. So I think some docs try to make us sick. I don't think doctors are trying to make us sick so much as they work within a system that's built around treating symptoms and not finding cures. I love medicine. I love doctors. I love science, but I think there's no question that it's a business model built around treating the symptoms. And I think there's a lot more money to be made giving you insulin and treating your diabetes than there is in training you to never get it in the first place. And so maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I see. And so again, I'm a big fan. I think you have to co-doctor to some degree. I love doctors. I take what they say, but it's not the end all be all, especially when it comes to weight. They just don't know. So I don't think it's so much doctors trying to make us sick as it is they just don't know. And they're trained to see the world in one way. That's what I think. But anyways, yeah. She says constantly keep your metabolism working. I don't know why you'd want to constantly keep your metabolism working. Digesting food is one of the biggest uses of energy in your body. And so it is really like, I just feel that you want to give your body a break. That's me. Now, I have people in the program, if Jody's still here, but she eats 6 meals a day. I eat 3. So again, it's always up to you what works best for you. But I think I think the idea of like aiming to eat all the time is unnatural, but if it works for you, cool. I'll just leave it with that. Okay. But anyways, read, fast, feast, repeat, game changer. Oh, fast, feast, repeat. Sure. Can I look slimmer by just my mind? Can I look slimmer by just my mind? Perhaps cortisol? Oh, well, no. I mean, you can't just change your mind and all of a sudden be slimmer, but you can look better right away. You can look happier. You know, you can smile more. That might make you seem slimmer. I don't know, but you can't just be slimmer by your mind long term. I don't think. I mean, I guess I don't know. That's a trick question because everything's your mind based. But anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna let that one go. What's up, Mario? It's been 7 days since I last binged. Very proud of because that's a huge accomplishment. Great job, Mario. And then listen, if you binge, it's not a big deal, okay? Because next time you binge, if you binge again, just pay attention to how it feels. I'll give you a hint. It feels like shit. And so it's about reprogramming yourself. The binging feels gross. I don't like it. I like when I'm kind of sober, from it. But good job. Great job. Yeah, dry fast. Yeah, right. And I'm obviously being sarcastic with the dry fast, but if you think I'm not, it's just another symptom of something crazier. Yeah. Dry fasting is probably the best way to start a binge cycle. Yeah, no shit. Right? Yeah. Danielle says most women have body dysmorphia. I agree with that too. I agree with that. Which it's normal to have body dysmorphia. We didn't evolve to have any real sense of how we looked. If you think about that, we basically looked like everyone we were around for most of history. We had no mirrors, no pictures, no cameras. So no scales. So like how we looked, we were very unawares of that. And so now all of a sudden, if you think about it, it's been 100 years. I mean, I only had mirrors around for a while, but like pictures and seeing ourselves all the time and looking at ourselves in a mirror every day. And this stuff is relatively new, within evolutionary terms. And so I think we're ripe for body dysmorphia to begin with. And then obviously we have all this crazy imagery put in our minds as well. So yeah, I do agree. Most women have body dysmorphia. Deanna says it's the perfect time for me. I'm watching from Norway. Oh, cool. Welcome from the US here. Less processed foods, definitely. I always start with fiber. Yes, very good call. Bree lost 12 and a half pounds so far, and I'm trying to feel positive, but still have 140 to lose. So I get it, Bree, but you're 10% of the way to your goal. Great job. And the start's kind of the hardest part, you know? But remember, be careful of your language, right? When we hear try, if I told you, I just came in, I tried to close the door. Is that door open or closed? I tried to close it. It's open, right? Try implies failure. So you can say, I have a lower than medium level of being positive right now, and I'm going to increase it by focusing on how I've dropped 10% of my goal. I'm 10% of the way there. And the amazing part is the way I've dropped this 12 and a half pounds has been amazing. I've never done it like this before. I've never been this relaxed, this calm. It's been pretty easy. I got off track once or twice, got right back on track. I really feel like I've found something here. And as I keep getting better and better and better with it, this 140 pounds is going to just fall off me. But the most important piece is when I get to that ultimate goal weight that I want to live at, I'm going to have a whole system and strategy and foundation in place to keep me there. So yeah, it's a challenge and it's work moving forward, but I'm going to stay positive because I'm so excited about everything that's going on. So you hear what I'm saying, Bree? I'm talking to myself in a completely different way. So again, when we're trying to feel positive, that implies we're not feeling positive. And again, you can chart out how long you've been doing this. Bree, you lost 12 and a half pounds over when? Let me know that. Are you from Greece? I am not from Greece, but I am Greek heritage. It has to be your plan, or most likely you gain it back. I love the Dawn plan. Absolutely. That's what I mean. Enster says, is it normal to weigh yourself every day to keep in check? I mean, what's normal? You know what I mean? I don't believe in a normal. There's only what works for you. So when I was losing weight, I was weighing myself every day. You know, I've got things locked down, so I don't need to weigh myself every day. It's kind of pointless. But when I was losing weight, I'm a big fan of weighing myself every day. And if weighing yourself every day keeps you in check, good job. I think obviously there's getting obsessive negatively with things, but I think you can get obsessed with things in a healthy, positive way too. And I think that, really setting yourself up to figure out what works for you, not just on the scale, but emotionally, I think is the secret. And so if stepping on the scale every day helps keep you in check and you're thriving, you feel good, then keep doing it, What's up, Heather? Yeah, I didn't think you'd be here today. I'm enjoying optimizing at first pumpkin seeds and chocolate. Probably chocolate, maybe. Yeah, I was late today. That's why. But that's great. Great job, Heather. Yeah, the optimizing is so fun. And you're in a good spot. So you can kind of just kick off with optimizing. You got a good foundation under you. Mike says it's weird, but back when I was a healthy weight as a teen, I thought I was huge. That happens. We've all have body dysmorphia, and I don't think there's any curing it. As I said, I think we're kind of built to have that. So, anyways, it's more difficult. Is it more difficult losing weight after 40s? Difficult. It might take a little longer, but I don't think it's any more difficult, if you have a right strategy and plan, so I think that's important. But you got to look at how you've been trying to do it. And most people have no strategy. They're just trying to force themselves to do some new thing. What's up, Laura? I've been doing Pilates and walking 3 to 4 times per week, eating salads for lunch, no breakfast and healthy dinners. Well, semi-healthy dinners. Great. Doing this for about 7 weeks and don't think I've lost weight. Is this normal? Is it normal? Yeah, it's totally normal. A lot of times weight takes a little while. Remember this, weight loss is inconsistent and unpredictable in the short term and very consistent and predictable in the long term. And so I know 7 weeks feels like a while, and that's a good amount of time, no doubt about it. But it's not enough time to really get a crystal clear picture. I would give it another 4 weeks. I would focus on how you feel. I would focus on your process and how you're locking things down. And I give my body a little more time to just kind of, get used to what's going on. And then if the weight's still not coming off, then you can look at what you're typically doing and start to work on optimizing what, your strategy and your plan. But just relax. Again, it's building a structure for the long term, and so good job making changes. Don says I'm 52. Nope. Did the right things to lose hormonally. Oh, is it possible? Over 9 weeks, I've lost 12 and a half. Okay, great, Bree, right? So that's 9 weeks. So if you get yourself a pound a week of weight loss, by next year at this time, it'll be 50, 60 pounds down. So, but I got 140 pounds to lose. Well, I mean, how are you going to lose it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not so much about, this is the weird reframe I'm talking about, folks. It's not so much about losing the weight as it is about becoming the you who lives at your goal weight. And you can't just be that person. Again, if I put it in a different context, I think it makes more sense. Like if you want to learn to play the piano, right? And you're like, well, I want to be able to play all these songs. And well, it's going to take you a while. Tough shit. It's just I want to plant this garden, but I want it ready to go. I want to pick the fruit tomorrow. Well, what do you want from me? We live in a world of cause and effect, you know? So it's about really wrapping your head around the fact that you're going to live as this version of you and you're going to become that person over time. But great job, Brie. Again, a pound a week, I think is a sweet spot, you know? And so whatever, in 2.5, 3 years, you'll be completely your goal in a way where you can live there for the rest of your life. And it's like, we have to stop thinking, our brain tends to think in points. It thinks of us as being our overweight point and our being at our goal weight point. But along the way, there's lots of enjoyable experiences. Enjoy the journey. You get to do it one last time. Enjoy it. There's no rush. Being 70 pounds down, you're going to look tremendously different and feel a lot better. Being 140 down, you're going to feel amazing. Okay. Enjoy every step of it and keep mastering what you're doing. I hope that makes sense, Bree. Way often and look at average. Not sure if you saw my earlier comment. I did. Oh my God, Jimmy, you're my spirit animal. I want to become the me who lives at a healthy weight for the rest of my life. Yeah, there you go, Diana. Good job. So Diana, make sure you watch the training. Make sure you watch the training I give you guys for free. Again, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the video. It's free. And I give you other videos too. You got to get in first, and then I send you a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, if you want to be the you who lives at a healthy weight, you got to start thinking differently. It's hard to do on your own. So I walk you through this video and kind of reveal a lot more stuff to you. I average 0.5 a week. This is good enough as it's off for good. Yeah, exactly. It's not about how fast you can do it. You got to get that out of your mind. You have to look at this. It's like college. You know, so Bree, this is kind of for you too. And I don't mind. I just don't like having to be scared. Like, well, if it's not fast, you're going to quit. Tough shit. If it's not fast enough, then you're going to do crazy stuff to make it go fast. So you won't be able to keep up. We've all done that. And so the alternative is to start to weave some patience into this process and frame it as something you're going to do one more time. And that's it. And make your patience a key part of your process, because you need to be more patient. And think of it like going to college for weight mastery. And so for you, Bria, it is like that, literally time-wise. It might take you 2-3 years. You're in the year range. But if you commit to it now, you're already down 12 pounds. And I know, like, when you focus on that, wanting to what you ultimately want to lose, you feel like it's miles away and you feel discouraged. But when you look at where you're at 9 weeks ago, how do you feel now compared to where you were 9 weeks ago? How long have you been wanting to start something and lose some weight where you haven't? You know what I mean? So you're in the game now. And so enjoy it. Enjoy it. There's no rush. Master what you're doing so that every step you take forward is a solid step forward. And you keep going forward. So I hope that helps you out. All right, everyone, I gotta get out of here. I gotta do some calls. But thank you so much. Again, if you're not in my world yet, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the video, read the emails I send you. Check out the extra stuff I give you. If you're really serious, go join the program. Thank you, Diana. And then the podcast is Program Yourself In on all the major podcast platforms, and go check it out. And if you like it, leave me a little review there. That helps me out. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a super day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.